Our nation, and you know this is true, has declared spiritual and moral bankruptcy as we have abandoned, excuse me, we have abandoned our righteous heritage, and now we live among the tombs. Just like that man who was demon possessed that came to Jesus, we live among those same proverbial tombs. What we must do as a nation is throw ourselves at the feet of Jesus in our nakedness, in our sin, in our shame, and return home to the values that have been established that made this nation great. You see, Jesus has not abandoned our nation. Our nation has abandoned Jesus. So when I first heard about, Charlie Kirk in 2020, I was just amazed at how many facts and how many historical uh, uh, dates and names and quotes that he had stored up in his head. As I listened to him, the first thing that he kind of reminded me of was Dave Barton, that American historian. And it didn't take me long for me to realize that Charlie was in fact a Christian. And I went to go see him speak at a local church in my area back then. But Antifa called the church, threatened to burn down the city if they allowed Charlie to speak there. So they ended up having to cancel. I wish they didn't. I'm sure they wish they didn't. But in 2020, things were so crazy. Nobody was quite sure of the footing of society. So they didn't end up having him hosted there, and it ended up being okay. But I listened to his podcast, listened to it daily, and I would take notes during his debates that he would put online, and it would just kind of help me to articulate my thoughts on certain topics and some of the conversations that I was having. And what I realized that as he and his team was engaging in this political landscape, I realized that they were really in a spiritual battle and fiercer than I had ever seen before. And I'm kind of like a spiritual warfare junkie. So I love spiritual warfare. I love intercession. I love, deliverance, all those kind of things, because it's just exciting to me. We used to go down to the downtown Tacoma area, the city that I grew up in, and do street evangelism and feed people and all that. And witches would come, covens of witches would come and stand across the street and try and hex us. And I love that because they never ever worked. But I love that type of spiritual excitement. I mean, that's just kind of me. But through the ministry, and I call it a ministry of, I believe TPUSA is a ministry. I believe that through this ministry, I felt like the Holy Spirit was calling me to engage in the same battle in the public square, in the political